What's up, guys? This is Hotfriend First, and today I have a commentary for you guys. As usual, guys, we're in the point where Chris Jericho has returned, and there's been a lot. I mean, a lot of news about Chris Jericho's returning, and a lot of people didn't honestly predict that Chris Jericho's gonna turn at the Royal Rumble. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even know that. I was surprised as hell because a lot of people were actually worrying about Brock Lesnar returning at the Rumble, and I actually predicted before Brock Lesnar got to Raw. I actually predicted that he is going to return to Raw, and I was surprised. He actually did. Well, I was not surprised. I was pretty expecting it because when you think about it, Vince McMahon calling out Paul Heyman to fire him, and Brock Lesnar comes out of nowhere at F5. And then Mr. McMahon gets Triple H. Bam! Rivalry begins right there, leading into WrestleMania 29. And then you guys know Brock Lesnar have a 2-year contract, but I'm not sure about Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho, there's a possibility that he has a 1 or 2 year contract. But there's there's a possibility that Ziggler and Jericho rivalry could lead onto WrestleMania, and I think they'll be trying to push their real away from the world title scene as soon as Elimination Chamber begins. I really don't know what's gonna happen around there. Maybe there could be a possible fatal forward triple threat match, but seeing Sheamus and not a WrestleMania match and Randy Orton, that actually sort of makes me sad. But I can tell Randy and Sheamus are gonna be at the Elimination Chamber. I don't know what's gonna absolutely happen. Considering the fact Randy Orton and Sheamus, I really don't know what's gonna happen around there. But Ziggler, I don't know when he's gonna cash in Money in the Bank. He hasn't had Money in the Bank for a while, and there was a lot of chances. There was a lot of predictions where I thought he was gonna cash in. I absolutely thought he was gonna cash in at the Royal Rumble. Sheamus wins the Rumble. Ziggler cashes in. Randy Orton wins that Elimination Chamber. Something like that. But it didn't happen. But hey, half of the part was sort of right when you think about it. But Jericho and Ziggler, the feud finally begins again. The feud begins, and this all started back the Raw after Money in the Bank, where Dolph Ziggler sound off Chris Jericho, and wow, and at that point Chris Jericho turned face. Like, as soon as what Dolph Ziggler said to him, I think Jericho turned face right there, and like Dolph Ziggler just pretty much dropped a pipe bomb on Chris Jericho. Like, literally was saying, "Oh, you don't want the big ones no more," all that bullshit. I'm like, wow, Jericho, how do you feel? Then he won the big one at SummerSlam. Thus, AJ booking a match, Ziggler's Money in the Bank versus Chris Jericho's terminate contract, and that contract got terminated. But that match did not really happen. Chris Jericho just went on a world tour of Fozzy, and just to let you guys know, he has a tattoo on his. I think it was on his right arm. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm glad Chris Jericho's back. I'm glad I'm sorry, CM Punk. You are honestly the best athlete in the world. I mean, honestly, the best. I'm gonna be honest, you are good, but Jericho, otherwise, he is the best in the world. I'm just waiting for him to get. I can't wait till WWE gives him that World Heavyweight Championship push. I want to see Jericho as a world champion once again. Cause seeing Jericho as a world champion, I'm not gonna lie, that was actually really, honestly, that was really fun to see him as champion again. And I just wish Edge was back, and Jericho and Edge had a really good rivalry. But the feud for Ziggler and Chris Jericho begins, and I'm not sure whether the world title is gonna be involved in the rivalry. I honestly do not know, but hopefully this could lead into WrestleMania, and after WrestleMania, Jericho could finally go for the world titles. Well, guys, this was Hardy Fan the First. I'ma see you guys later.